So now we're going to continue on the function definitions. This time we're starting with TE, extroverted thinking. But first we're going to read it from Carl Jung, since he is the founder of functions and they don't exist other than what he brought to the world. Also introvert and extrovert. We have to read how he explained it. And then if you're a system creator or anything of that sort, you can expand on it from there. That is how it's done. So you can't say things like, I'm going to use the function and define it in this way, but this isn't Carl Jung. The function in and of itself is Jung. The function is created by him, right? It's almost like changing what words mean from the dictionary, when that is the only way we can have any foundation to now have a conversation that is meaningful or worth anything. We have to build on a foundation first. And something as simple as a word or a phrase or terminology even should be universal. So the use of a function being explained outside of what the function actually is not a function at all. It is common sense. So Carl Jung. In Carl Jung's theory of psychological types, extroverted thinking TE is described as a dominant function that prioritizes objective and rational analysis, organization, and efficiency in the external world. It focuses on external data, principles, and systems to make decisions and achieve goals. Simple. What he means by that is it focuses on external data, external principles, external systems to make decisions externally and achieve goals with those systems, with those principles, with those. You can see it goes back into extroverted, object orientation, yet structured. It's reductionistic, always. And when you lead with the dominant function of TE, you see these things quite clearly. It's not something you have to search for. It's not something that's missing in action or being brought to attention whenever you feel like it. It is the dominant function for a reason, where we're measuring consistency. We're measuring what's most consistent, the reason why you're dominant in the first place. So if you're not exhibiting TE from the dominant perspective, it's not being pitched out in that way. The sources are there. There's a lot of feelings going involved before you even get to the process. Is a good chance that you are mistyped. MBTI. TE stands for extroverted thinking. It's a cognitive function that describes how people think and make decisions using logic and objective facts. Yes, correct. Objective facts, right? What is an objective fact? That is a source. I call it safe thinking because I'm quite the opposite. Safe thinking is relying on a source. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion. You can still have an opinion, but what that means is a lot of how you prioritize your form of logic or thinking is validating your own opinion and aligning it with the source outside of yourself. This is what it means to be object-oriented and also use the function TE. Now, if it's done as a cautious function, meaning in the second position in standard development or third position outside of standard development, right? Still the auxiliary opposite attitude of an introverted function, then you're still highlighting the source. But you're using that logic in a more open way, right? Your form of logic is coming through whatever you lead with. It's okay. Drawing from external world and others' opinions, TE. TE is a judgment function, meaning it's concerned with making decisions and organizing information. Simple. Yes, they do draw from it, right? But to make that more clear, they're utilizing it. without much change to what it means or what it is objectively. And one of the things that you could pick up on is how they go about articulating how they're using external protocols, judgment, how they're using it. Are they involving and accepting others' point of view or other external logic systems' point of view in collaboration with their own? An objective personality system, OPS, extroverted thinking, TE, is an extroverted decider function characterized by a focus on external results, logic, and efficiency and organization. True. It's a function that values objective solutions and systems, often prioritizing the tribe or group's needs. Okay, so simple, mostly true, but tribe. So tribe is a word or a phrase that objective personality uses. It's categorization of, let's say, JE. So speaking on FE and TE, right? Now, I have an issue with the word tribe. Although I do agree that it could be structured or placed in a category where all of it can come together, like TE and FE. And IDT, we use the word protocol chief. Protocol chief, right? Protocols is outside of yourself. It's a judgment factor when you're talking about protocols. Detach is TE, attach is FE. Objective personality system says tribe. So let's look into the word tribe to see exactly what they mean. The definition of tribe: a social division in a traditional society consisting of families or communities linked by social, economic, religious, or blood ties with a common culture and dialect, typically having a recognized leader. So tribe, from the definition of the word itself, speaks to a form of hierarchy and also highlights social over not. If you're just talking about the word, right? I would say that's more closer to FE than it is TE, and just in my opinion. Now, another way of looking at tribe is you can say that it's a ranking system. Maybe, right? And if it's a ranking, could it be considered a ranking system? Potentially in certain contexts, but the nuances behind that being true have to be highlighted. And when you go through the nuances, you'll quickly find that the word tribe probably shouldn't be used specifically to describe both commonality between TE and FE, but that's just my opinion. Socionics. TE, extroverted logic, is a dynamic, extroverted, and rational information element that focuses on the objective, external activity, and functionality of things. Yes, for the most part, it's kind of sort out the information and how it's functional, you can say. How does it work? There's going to be some sensation in it. There's going to be other elements that goes along with it. No single function can operate on its own. I continuously say that because you have people typing by the function all the time. Oh, I see this function. I see that function. When I say I see TRI, that doesn't mean I'm not seeing FE. But I can explain it, therefore I understand it, so I can say what I want. If you say these things, but you can't explain it, then you shouldn't say these things at all because you're confusing yourself, right? That's the clear sign that a person could be confused when they themselves can't explain what it is that they are tracking, or when they themselves are being too general with certain things and trying to be in or involve more things outside of the thing that they're talking about in order to make more clarity for themselves. Assesses the efficiency, usefulness, and rational sense of events, actions, and ventures. TE types are driven by a desire to maximize productivity and efficiency, often evaluating both people and things based on their ability to achieve goals. True. Just by the definition, I do think that that stands correct. And now TE and IDT, right? In detached protocol chiefs, which is what TE is, they're detached. They're about protocols and they're chiefs of it. A chief takes the lead in this function. It represses feelings in order to take leads when it comes down to information, sharing information. When you don't do this, you're not dominant at it. Or if it takes you some time to actually do it, right? Also, the energetic between introvert and extrovert is there within protocol chief. And this is why these dichotomies is important. These little nuances makes more clarity to how people are or doing most of the time according to their pillar dominant function. Sorry, I'm ranting because I'm thinking about stuff. In detached protocol chiefs, TE serves as the dominant pillar function, prioritizing external structures to engage with maintaining objective standards and efficiency. TE utilizes external sources or ideas by facilitating information in the use of factual data, finding solace in verification, and outsourcing opinions to gain objectivity that's in alignment with the ideas of the world. TE often attempts to accumulate reliable resources in relation to proven entities. As for in the in-service function of SENE, TE brings the abstract into reality by testing its hypothesis to find what works and what is applicable in real life. Kudos to Alki for that. She added that line. That line was awesome. Results-driven logic in search of practical outcomes based on established formalities in adherence to procedures, systems, or rules. In more cautious ways, TE assimilates with NI or SI, oscillating through ideational building, external within the major arc. Although TE types measures rationality by what works rather than what makes sense internally to themselves, often their ideals are unconscious, yet being obtained through the priority of execution of objective protocols and outcomes. There's a lot going on in that definition, in our definition, right? It's more long-winded than the others because we are adding other functions to go along with it. It being clear how those perception functions help that TE pillar dominant protocol chief show how they're processing the world externally as a primary focus. And when you do that, there's a lot more clarity when it comes down to what exactly is the difference between someone who just has TE versus a TE pillar type.